Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, Earthlings. How are you all doing? Hope you're all having a nice time today. The sun is shining here. Finally, I think summer has arrived, I hope. So I see that Harry and Meghan have employed the services of a couple more PR gurus. One for the other side of the Atlantic and one for this side of the Atlantic. And I think the person this side of the Atlantic used to be a PR marketing person for Mars and Haribo. Now, I could be wrong about this, and I'm sure Wally will correct me, but I think Wally used to be a rep for that company. A very successful, pretty high up one. Many, many moons ago, apparently. So anyway, I just mentioned that for what it's worth. How many more PR people does Meghan and Harry need? Now, in my experience, what they normally do is announce they've formed a new friendship, new PR, basically when someone else has just told them to get knotted and walked out on them, or they've fallen out with someone, or they've been dumped by an agency. Now, when did she sign up with WME? I think, and I could be wrong, I'm sure a lot of you will correct me in the comments, I think it might have been the 21st of April 2023. Hasn't 21st of April 2024 just passed? Aren't we on the 23rd of April now, or is it the 22nd today? I'm not sure. Thoughts below or on a postcard, what you make of that. But I mean, how many more PR people does this girl need? I don't recall before Harry met her him constantly and continually needing new PR people. But I don't really remember them particularly mentioning anyone at the palace that did his PR. I know there will have been, but I mean, it was happening when she was in Buckingham Palace. Constantly, new PR team, new PR team, new PR team. And of course, since they've left, it's been nothing but new PR teams. I mean, one would think, and someone did actually say this on X very poignantly, wouldn't just a glance in the mirror help them more than a PR team? Because it seems to me that all these failed PR people before, Sunshine Sachs, WME, because, I mean, we'd have heard about it if WME had booked her. Believe me, we would have heard about it. William Morris Endeavour Speaking Agency, we would have heard about it. We'd have heard all about it. There's been nothing. Nothing has been booked. It's all as usual, you know, pap walks in car parks or pop concerts or sports events or no mark award events. So all these previous PR agencies, there have been many, many in the staff, my God, not just a revolving door, a positive conveyor belt of staff. They have all failed in exactly the same manner. So that makes me draw the conclusion, what's the common denominator? Well, it's the clients, isn't it? It's the clients. Perhaps the clients refuse to listen, refuse to take advice. They know best. Why bother employing anybody? Why not just continue blundering along through life, wasting money, but not as much money as having to pay and employ PR people? I mean, I suppose I can understand the PR people taking on this poison chalice because, you know, you've got a little PR company or big PR company and you get a member of the British royal family. So, well, they're sort of, aren't they? They're kind of the ex-royals, but they're well known. Contact them and say, we would like your help. Well, I mean, what PR agency is going to say no? Well, actually, probably quite a few are going to start saying no, aren't they? They're just going to be like, no, we just don't need that shit. Do we need the money that badly? And the big question is going to come for them all. Do they have the credit? Do they have the ability to pay the invoice at the end of the month or at the end of 90 days or whatever it is? Are they good for credit? There's always been this sort of, you know, we all have credit ratings, right? But Windsors have different credit ratings. And this goes back to Dot. Loads of kings and queens of old have run up horrendous debt. And you think to yourself, well, why do people give them credit? Well, they believe that because they're the royal family that it's going to be paid, but that is not necessarily the case. I mean, King George the Fourth, who was the Prince Regent in Brighton, he ran up hideous debts and gambling debts and tailors and jewellers, and he put many a business out of business by having such bad debt. So, and they just continue and continue. I don't know in the States how people are going to feel about it. They might want to start seeing some credit notes. They might want to start seeing some credit history, or at the very least some success stories. Because, I mean, everything just fails, you know. It falls flat. It's nothing. And although all of us have been on this story for years now, 5, 6 years, this has been going on, hasn't it? The thing is, it really was South Park that brought them down. That really was a Hollywood lancing. I think South Park's Canadian, actually, isn't it? But you know what I mean. That was a big wig. Now, when parodies do a skit of somebody famous, most famous people go, wow, I've made it. I've made it. Someone actually knows who I am. I'm well enough known that they're doing parodies of me. You know, it's an enormous compliment to have somebody do a parody. I had someone do a parody of me recently, Gertie Rude, whose channel seems to have vanished. But Meghan and Harry, they just didn't have any sense of humour over that. I mean, they could have come out and said, yeah, that was kind of funny, you know, and they could even have made fun of themselves. But no, instead, they both cried like a pair of little bitches, didn't they? Like a pair of snivelling cowards, which is the only way I can see people who can't laugh at themselves in a parody. I mean, they really are. I'm sorry. They're just snivelling cowards. There is no other phrase for it. I mean, my God, all of us YouTubers, and I don't just mean the Megxit community, everybody gets parodies, trolled, everybody gets memes, and some of them are really funny and some of them are really amusing. I mean, if you can't take that, then don't be in the public eye at all, whatsoever. There's a world of difference between a parody and a death threat. There's a world of difference between 2 or 3 parodies, and South Park's only done one, and, for example, 22,500 tweets. But some people can dish it, but they just can't take it, can they? Little girls in little training bras. How shameful. And also letting everybody see so publicly that they don't like it. I mean, Meghan and Harry should have come out and said that was kind of funny. You know, you got a point. And then that would have taken the heat out of it. But no, the deafening silence, or the very suggestion they might sue South Park for a parody. You cannot sue people for parody. You cannot get people arrested for parody, much as I'm sure Harry and Meghan would love to. Good God, can you imagine if Harry and Meghan could have people arrested for giving criticism online or analytics? We'd all be in jail, wouldn't we? The world would have to put Harry and Meghan in a prison because there wouldn't be enough space. The rest of us would live outside. Hey, that's an idea, isn't it? They did want security. And it is a kind of a castle. In fact, here in Spain, the word for prison is cárcel, or carcel, depending on your district. And, it's not Castile, but it's a variation. Yeah! And I don't mean the Tower of London, because no, Tower of London brings in a lot of tourism and a lot of money, and it's got the crown jewels there. You don't want Meghan in there, do you? She'd have an absolute field day. She'd be playing dress up all night long, wouldn't she, with all the different crowns and tiaras. Oh my God, can you imagine it? So it just goes from bad to worse. So what I think they've done is something catastrophic has happened. They've lost the WME. Or Netflix have said, do you know what? Because it was actually only Meghan and Harry's team that said there's going to be this cook-off thing on Netflix. I haven't heard Netflix say anything about it. Same as Pearl. It was only Harry and Meghan's team and that David Furnash that said something about that. It was the only thing Netflix said was cancelled. Were they cancelled or were they cancelled? Sorry, Meghan, but you do kind of deserve it. You dished a lot on Oprah. And so did Harry. And then when South Park came along, you just couldn't take the heat. And you know what they say? If you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen. As always, this is just a quick one, because as you can tell, I've been sunbathing. I'm grabbing the days while I can before the rain clouds come again. and I look forward to reading all of your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. And also this 5-minute Pilates lady, if you can, you've got to try it. I've been doing it every day, and actually I've built up to 15 minutes a day now. It's dead easy, and it does have excellent results. Thank you very much for listening.